double check that we're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were on a hiatus. Joe was too busy out campaigning for Harris. He was in the Armenians for Harris campaign.
Was not.
He was.
Was not.
Yeah. All right, let's do the intro a little bit.
This is not a medical advice show. For medical advice, consult your own physician. Dr. Mike, Dr. Joe, to the microphones. Stat. Welcome to Off Call, the show where medicine gets real, raw, and ridiculously funny.
Okay, that's enough.
When did you become a Republican? You've always been the Democrat.
I have always been
Howie and Max and I were on the Republican side, and then we would meet somewhere and fight every so often.
I've always been a Democrat. I switched this time to a Republican just because of all the tomfoolery that's going on. I mean,
is there surgical changes you make?
No surgical changes. So why'd you vote for Harris?
I did not vote for Harris.
Yeah, you did. You told me.
I did not vote for Harris.
Last week at the football game, you're like, it's an obvious choice. It's going to be Harris.
Not true. That's so not true.
You didn't say that?
No, I did not. I knew Trump was going to win it.
Yeah.
I was
who
very
did
much
you want to win.
I did want Trump. It's not that I like him. I'm Republican. It's not that I like him.
When did you start being a Republican?
I've always been a Republican. I don't remember when. Yeah, when did you start being a Republican? That's
This
really
election,
the question.
I'm still registered as a Democrat, but I voted Republican.
Why?
I thought it was an obvious choice. I'm seeing all the uproar now, and I'm like, wait a second. I thought we all collectively agreed Kamala Harris is like...
There's uproar?
Yeah, everyone's like,
It depends on your news feed, I guess. Your because my feed is all like everybody happy, because that's how Republican my feed is.
Oh, no, everyone's upset.
Yeah, see, your feed and your friends are mostly Democrats. See, you've been so long deep in the Democratic Party that, now it just looks like, disaster.
Yeah. I'm seeing they want to recount. Women are shaving their heads.
They want to recount. Women are shaving.
Yeah. They're like,
why?
We're not going to have relations with our husbands or boyfriends for the next 4 years until Trump gets out of office.
Your feed is nonsense.
Like,
your
what's
feed
going
is
on?
pure nonsense. You got to start llooking at other things. Venture out of the hole.
Oh, you mean CNN is not the source for news that I should be getting?
That's it.
But yeah, so I thought
Bob Costas.
It was a landslide victory, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it's going to be. She can't.
I knew it was going to be a landslide. He won the popular vote. I mean, how long has it been since the Republican has won the popular vote?
I know.
Electoral college, okay.
Yeah,
but
happened. Even his electoral college is over 300.
You look at the map, because I saw like a meme the other day that said like, there's no states that are for Harris. There's cities that are for Harris.
Yeah, and I saw a map. I think they pulled it up on some podcast where there's no voter ID. Those are all the states that Harris won.
Yes, I saw that too. There's also a lot more, less votes. There's a lot more votes in 2020 than there were now.
Yeah, which is weird.
We can say that, right? We can say it's weird.
It's either that
you can say it's weird without saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's either someone cheated either last time or this time. So, because where did these? It's like,
does it have to be cheating either one time or the other, or was there just more people voting in 2020? I feel like it was a more popular election.
Yeah, I feel like more people voted now. Like so I never vote.
I don't think the politics.
And I even voted this time. So I'm like, wow.
I feel like I talked so much less about the election in the last few months than I did in 2020, the few months prior to it.
Oh, really?
What do you think? You doubled down this time?
No, I feel like
everyone... you switched. You did the gender change, the party change.
Everyone was talking about this election. But I thought it was cut and dry. Like, all right, Kamala Harris can't talk. She can't put two sentences together. She's bought and sold by everyone. She spent $1 billion on her campaign, and Trump spent like $350 million.
Did you just see like her views compared to his views of like just like Joe Rogan podcast? 40, how many million? 42 million? Something like that.
Something like that.
At some point, it was like over $1 million viewers a day or something nonsensical.
Yeah,
or an hour.
It's really weird. And she's $20 million in debt, and she's still asking for donations.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to pay him.
I
saw Trump posted something about how he's going to pay her debt, in order to bring unity back to the parties.
Let's all just be cool. Pay her debt.
Come back to me.
Yeah. But she paid Oprah $1 million to be on her show.
I feel like this is not more than redemption. It's more than redemption for him, right? Because you saw his 4 years, you saw Biden's 4 years, and then you got to vote on which 4 years were better. That's what this election was.
Yeah.
And which one did you like better?
And Kamala's like, I'm not going to change a thing. Joe Biden did a great thing.
Well, she didn't say much, really. If you look at any of her interviews, nothing.
Yeah.
And the other guy, even if you didn't like him, at least he had some policies and some ideas.
Yeah.
And
even though they're out there.
Yeah, some promises.
But he's doing something.
Yeah, they were out there. But yeah, he had something. And I think that it's obvious who ran the better campaign. I mean, it's more than obvious. I knew Kamala was not going to win it. She wasn't popular other than that one soundbite she had during a debate with Biden. She had that one soundbite that gave her like a little bit of boost. But since then, Trump, nothing. Yeah.
She did well on the debate. Yeah, I'll give her that. I'm like, okay.
Which was smart of him to say, I'm not debating anymore. No, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
Because he was used to a Biden debate.
Yeah.
That one was like depressing.
I know. And everyone's like, all right, this is just elder abuse right now. Just let him go home.
I don't think Biden is a bad person. I think he's I think he cares about the country.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with his policies and his ideas.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah, I thought it was cut and dry. Close the board, manage the border crisis, get the economy going. Let's just do all this. And
if you had a moderate left, it would have been a landslide the other way.
Anyone else other than her,
yeah, exactly.
Like
anyone, I think you would have.
Yeah,
I mean, the Democratic Party has a big reevaluation to make. Bernie Sanders even said it.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders is turning. It's like, this is the workers' party, and you alienated everybody.
That's right. You didn't listen to a single person.
Yeah. But anyway, we're not
stood on ideals.
This is a medical podcast. What we're going to talk about is RFK's initiatives to make America healthy again.
I heard that he was actually, there's some friction between them starting, between him and Trump. Is that right?
I think so. I know Trump's not going to let him touch the oil. He wants to bring American economy back by drilling for oil. We have the most oil reserves than anyone else. But I don't know what friction there is. It's been like a week from the election. He's like, all right, peace. See ya. Thanks, RFK.
Thanks, RFK, for your voters, and I'm out.
Yeah, but I'm seeing on so if you go, there's a Facebook group called Physician Community, and it's like the craziest place ever. It's like just doctors talking shit on everything. People, it's weird.
Well, doctors in general mostly are Republican, right?
I think so. I think some Democrat.
Every time I go to Physician Lounge, there's Fox News just like...
Oh, yeah. Our Physician Lounge is Fox News. But anyway, so RFK wants to make America healthy again. And there's like a bunch of stuff that he wants to do. The first one is...
Speak for yourself. I'm healthy.
I'm not. I'm getting fatter by the minute.
You got great thighs, man. You got those thunder thighs.
That's what everyone says. I do squat a lot.
I'm being very sarcastic. I'm in the worst shape of my life, too.
Yeah. But he's just saying, why is America, we're the richest country in the world. Why is America getting unhealthier and unhealthier every year? We're the fattest, we use the most cost for healthcare than anyone. We should be the healthiest. So he's looking at the food industry as the first thing. Mm-hmm. He wants to get rid of seed oils, get high fructose corn syrup out of foods. And because he's saying high fructose corn syrup is subsidized by the corn subsidies. So they got to use this shit in everything.
Right.
And that's like pure like crack for your body. That's just like exactly what your body needs, and it's going to store it as fat and just like kill you. Yeah. Like we shouldn't be eating that high fructose corn syrup.
There's not enough exercise you could do to burn that.
Yeah. Drink a Coke and you're like...
That's the end of it.
Yeah. So I think to me on the surface, it sounds like a good thing with taking out like the foods that are illegal in other countries, like these red dyes and stuff out of cereals
But does that line with the Republican Party and with Trump economy and deregulation and less of that sort of
I think it'd be better for the economy.
I think it's better for the country.
Yeah. I mean, a healthier country is better for the economy because we're not going to use
that's
all these
long term. That's
costs.
like the 15-year goal.
Yeah, that's fine. You got to start somewhere.
I agree.
All right. I'm glad we agree on something.
But is he more today? Is he more like, hey, let's see the rapid results? The VC of politicians per se.
It's going to
be venture capital fund that wants to see those numbers right away.
No, it's going to be a long-term thing. It's going to be a generation thing because we're already fat.
I'm glad you know what he wants.
I mean, I would have voted for him over anyone.
Oh yeah, me too. I liked RFK.
I mean, his he doesn't have anything checkered in his past, like his public service. He worked for the environment. He fought against everything, and his whole family was killed. So,
Which makes him way better.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Typically.
anyway, he wants to get all this stuff out of foods and make America. It's going to take a generation, but I think it's already going to start reducing costs in the healthcare, because how many patients do you see that come in? He was saying, I mean, we're young doctors. We see diabetes all the time, but back in the 60s, 50s, no one ever saw type 2 diabetes.
No. It's the change the country needs. Now let's reinvest back into healthcare. I mean, that's a great way of revamping the system, because everyone wants to change the system. Why don't we change what we eat?
Exactly.
Half of what we say on a normal primary care outpatient, visit is, hey, what's your diet? What are you doing? How much are you drinking? Are you smoking?
We could be better at that too, because when I see someone, I'm like, all right, you got to exercise, you got to eat right, but how much of that is being implemented? If everything's poison, I go to the farmer's market.
That's right.
Because I have 2 young kids, and I try to feed them the healthiest food possible, nothing processed, anything like that. But even our fruits have pesticides on them that are like tainted. I'm like, have some fruits, vegetables. I'm like, I have to scrub these things before even giving it to them.
How much of that is very different than like your Ralphs or Vons or Albertsons?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably not much. What makes it organic?
I think certain pesticides,
of course,
they always use some pesticides, but some are like outlawed, and to call it organic, I don't know. I'm not really.
But who makes these standards? The FDA, that's sponsored by these industries that are, hey, let's make this organic with this level.
So RFK wants to take over the FDA.
Good.
Yeah, it just needs to be shaken up.
Good.
Like let's give him a shot, see what happens, because what we're doing now is not working. Everyone's unhealthy. Every kid is fat.
Yeah.
I mean,
not every kid, but yes, there is too much. There's too much.
Yeah, there's too much.
There's too much. And it's not even our general location, LA, not even that. I don't see too many unhealthy kids in LA.
No, but we were talking about the middle of the country, low income, because there's food deserts.
That's right.
Like the only access they have to food is KFC, Burger King.
High calorie foods.
Yeah, cheap, high calories.
Cheap, high calorie. I mean, what else are you going to spend, $15, $20 to get 3,000-4,000 calories?
Yeah, and if you could just make those foods even a little bit healthier, take out all the preservatives or something like that, then it's a win.
Yeah. We're supposed to be eating 2,000 calories a day, right? That's the general rule of thumb.
I'm supposed to be like 25 because I'm so big and muscular.
Right. I mean, I don't think there's an American that's below 2,000, 2,500.
No, because
I think most of the country is over 3,000 a day.
Yeah.
And even these children.
Yeah, of course, it's so easy to eat 2,000 calories. You could eat that in one meal.
That's right.
Like a Chipotle burrito and a Coke is like almost 2,000 calories.
It's probably over. We can look it up, but it depends on what you put in it. But definitely what I put in it.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I have them scrape the grill.
Like, give you the grease from the grill and put it on there.
Yeah.
But no, I remember I looked it up in college. I'm like, because everyone was eating Chipotle in college. So I'm like, how many calories are in this burrito? And my burrito had like over 1,000 calories. And that's the one meal you're going to have that day.
Yeah.
So that's
I like that idea. I like that idea.
Make our food system healthy and then give us a shot.
Great for the economy. I mean, it's a 10, 15 year, 20 year, and then so on and so forth plan.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're going to see the results in the next few years, but you will see it in the 15 years is in the near future.
Well, there's going to be a lot of pushback because corn is subsidized by the government, and all these farmers are going to say, hey, we need something to grow.
Yeah, and I was your base.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know. So
do they align? That's what I mean. Like, if that's why his voters and even his family were like, do your views even align with the Republican Party?
Yeah, it's weird because he was a Democrat and he's switched over because
was he?
Yeah, because the Democratic Party's insane right now.
What was his dad? I know.
His dad was RFK Sr.
Yeah.
And then his uncle was JFK.
Yeah. Yeah. But they were all steadfast. They were the standard of the Democratic Party. I mean, still to this day, I mean, you look at, FDR and the Kennedys as like the standard for the Democrat Party. That's where Obama too, I guess now.
Yeah. And what's up with Obama being all crazy now? Like I used to
Is
like
he
him.
crazy? I
mean,
like
he's
him
getting
still.
paid.
I'm Republican and I like him.
I liked him as a leader. I don't vote, but I was with him during.
You have really made that change. You have changed.
Yeah,
You have surgically changed. I'm telling you, it's physical with you now.
But
Lobotomized.
him toting all these lies about Trump and Kamala Harris. I'm like, I understand they're paying you millions of dollars to say this stuff, and I get it. But come on, be a little truthful. Like he was using sound bites against Trump of stuff that he like never said. It was just really weird. It was a bad look for Obama.
I think a lot of it is written for them. It's decided for them. They're a mouthpiece, 50%. Obama's never been, his campaign was himself.
Yeah.
He earned it.
He
earned
did.
it times 2.
He did.
And he went against my favorite Republican candidate, Mitt Romney. Was my favorite Republican candidate.
Was it?
Well, McCain first, and then Mitt Romney second.
Oh, okay.
The second election was with Mitt Romney, and he like Trump did this election. He just cleared the table.
Yeah. So yeah, side note on Obama, I would still probably get a beer with you, but I would ask him like, was
Hey,
it just all for the money? I mean,
Hey man, I thought we were cool.
yeah, I thought we were cool, man. But anyway, back to RFK because this is a medical podcast. So he's going to overramp the food system. There's going to be a lot of pushback because all these big companies, Kellogg's, everyone, they all use this shit in their food.
I think he wants to. I'm not so convinced he will, but yes, okay.
I don't know. We have.
I think it's a good idea. I'm with you completely on that. It's a great idea.
Trump, who's going to go rogue and like try to do everything.
Right.
So I hope it happens. That's what I voted for. So the rest, only time will tell. Whatever happens.
Right. Okay.
Next is vaccines.
Right.
So everyone says he's anti-vax, and he's said many times he's not
anti-vax.
He's not anti-vax.
No.
He just wants research for the current vaccine schedule.
Modernization. As you would in science, is testing, experiments. Let's figure out what we need, what we don't.
Exactly. And I didn't know these things didn't have double-blind clinical trials or anything like that. And we're taught in med school like this is just basic. You give every kid vaccines, you get flu shots.
Right.
Vaccines are a core part. But to even ask questions and be like, were these studied? Are there any side effects? Anything like that? That's all he wants to do. Is there
something wrong with it?
Yeah.
Is there somebody who's in the medical field that has something wrong with, hey, let's look at it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just means let's look at it.
I mean, me personally, I probably wouldn't not vaccinate my kids if I were
you
to have-
haven't. You've vaccinated your kids.
Yeah. But
Me too.
But looking back now, I'd be like, all right, they do millions and millions of kids a year. The the adverse outcomes are very small, so it's better safe than sorry. So that's my view. But
at this time, because we're looking at research that's 40, 30, 25 years old. 80s, some of the research.
Yeah.
Hepatitis research hasn't been since the 80s, right?
Yeah. I don't know. We just take it as like
children,
doctrine that everyone needs these vaccines. So anyway, he's just saying research them, and especially new vaccines coming out, because the COVID vaccine, that was a big debacle. Like they're pushing out this vaccine that they made in like 3 months, and everyone's having these adverse reactions from the COVID vaccine. Pfizer, my sister was here on the podcast. They're bribing my sister to like push this vaccine.
That was a nice session. Anybody who's watching this today should go back and listen to that podcast, because I learned a lot from that podcast. I didn't know what she was saying, and I was kind of before it, maybe not on the side of, hey, let me look at this.
Yeah, I know. So go back and listen to the podcast with Dr. Marianne. It's pretty much what you suspect. Pfizer shows up at your office and tells you how to make money if you push their vaccine, which is weird. If the vaccine works and the doctor thinks it's appropriate for their kids, they should just be given the vaccine and not getting reimbursed really crazily. Anyway, so he wants to research vaccines, which I think is totally fine, especially these new vaccines. Now, every time I see a commercial of like Shingrix or get the adult RSV vaccine, I'm like, is this a grift of like just trying to vaccinate more people and making this standard of care? Or do people really need this? So I don't know. Show me the research, because we're just going off what the companies are saying with their own research. I don't know if there's double-blind clinical trials with these vaccines.
Maybe we should look at it.
Maybe we should have done some research before this episode.
I don't know.
I don't know. And then he's like, autism used to never happen. Now autism's happening all the time. And
Or is it being overdiagnosed, though?
So that's what I was taught in med school. Now we're better at diagnosing diseases. And everyone's like, oh, cancer's increasing. And then my reply would always be like, actually, people are living longer. So
we're and the better the test, the sooner we catch it.
yeah.
And
so
we're getting better tests.
is it the incidence or the prevalence that's increasing?
Right.
So
And-
is it I don't know.
Again, something we could have easily looked up.
Yeah.
But we didn't. So
But
here
who
we are.
knows?
And that's why you guys should comment
Yeah.
and follow.
Oh yeah. Comment and follow. Nobody's listening. We could
You.
just spew right now.
Yeah, this is between us.
Mom, what do you think? But anyway, so one of the prongs of his fork is to research vaccines, which I think is okay. He's not an anti-vaxxer. He said it
That's
a
right.
million times. They campaigned on that. That Kamala campaigned that RFK is going to be so dangerous for our country, but like,
It was fear mongering. That was her campaign. This is the end of democracy.
yeah,
What?
Trump is Hitler.
Trump is Hitler.
And then they're like, "Oh my God, people actually tried to kill him." And I'm like, "You're calling him Hitler?
Yeah, you're calling him fascist.
If this is Hitler,
Yeah,
I need to kill him."
Right, that's right.
And they're like, "Oh, so why weren't afterwards after Trump's first assassinated? Why weren't they like, awesome, we almost got Hitler?" Instead of being like, "Oh my God, we should never.
We should never do that. No, don't do that.
I'm like, but
and
you
then they
guys
went
are
back to Hitler.
You guys are the ones calling him Hitler.
But save democracy at the same time. Yeah, exactly. If he really is a danger to this country, I mean, that would have been something maybe.
Yeah, that would have been a good thing. But
Yeah, no.
that's why I thought she just lost. I thought she lost the campaign from there. It was like, once you start saying like he's a fascist, it's the end of democracy, he's taken away women's rights. I'm like, he was president for 4 years before.
Calm down.
Like, he didn't do any of this stuff.
No, and it was a wrong. It was let's vote against Trump rather than vote for Harris, which was a difficult thing for me to do.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like Trump's moral, like,
I concur.
or anything like that.
I concur.
But if someone's trying to make a change, give him a shot.
That's right.
He didn't screw up the first 4 years.
No.
The economy was great. Everyone was,
I mean, he didn't do so. I mean, he wasn't the best public figure.
no. He's very polarizing, and we get
exactly.
that.
We get that.
But we don't want more of the same, which was the Kamala campaign, where she said, "I wouldn't do anything different than Joe Biden," which is really weird.
Well, I mean, look at California. Even 40% of the vote went to Republican.
Yeah.
Trump.
I was one of them.
40%.
I rolled out. I was taking a nap, and my wife's like, "Are you gonna go vote?" It was like 7. It was like late in the afternoon, and I rolled up to the polling booth at like 7. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing.
You
this.
went at 7 a.m.
Yeah, and the polls 7 p.m.
Oh, 7 p.m. Okay.
And the polls close at 8. And I'm like there. I took my daughter Lenya. I'm like, this is what we do in this country.
Yeah, that's
We
nice.
vote. She's like, what are we doing here? Like, yeah. She wasn't interested at all. She's like, are we going? Because it was at a teen center at a park, and we're like, let's just go play at the park after this.
Yeah, it's
I'm
better.
like,
It's better for me.
yeah. But anyway, okay. So back to RFK. So far, he wants to research vaccines, make our food systems better, and make America healthy again. The other thing is the pharmaceutical company, which kind of goes with the vaccines.
Right.
He wants to take advertising of medicines off the TV, which
Should be.
like, who are they advertising
Why
to?
should that exist?
Like-
Europeans come to this country, they visit, they watch the TV, and they always say the same thing. Like, I've never seen pharmaceutical commercials. Does that make even sense?
Yeah. I mean, I learn about new drugs from the commercial as a doctor. Like, all these new monoclonal antibodies, I'm like, I haven't even heard of that. And then I look it up and research and see what it's used for. But they're so specific. And I don't know if they're toting to me. I'm always seeing commercials for like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis.
Right.
Like Skyrizi or something like that. I'm like,
Well, I mean, those are majority of the commercials.
Oh,
And
they
it goes
are?
back to let's go back to the food then.
Yeah, I
Let's go
know.
back to the food. Why do we have so much IBD in this country? IBS in this country?
Yeah. I mean, Diet is a huge thing for me. Actually, coincidentally, the one thing that exacerbates my system is corn. And I'm like, and that's the thing that's pushed the most, and it's in everything,
I know.
which
I
is
get
weird.
it.
I don't know
I
why
get
my
it.
body doesn't tolerate corn. I mean,
Nobody's body tolerates corn. That's why it comes out the same way it
just
went
comes
in.
Yeah. My body's
Without
like,
a single difference.
yeah. He's like, my body's like, you shouldn't be eating this. You're going to shit right now. Yeah, a lot of the comments from our previous episodes, like, we want to hear more places you took a shit. I'll sprinkle them throughout episodes, but
man.
like, just know I've shit everywhere. Like porta potties, wherever you could imagine.
You're the porta potty shitter? I've always wondered, like, whenever I'm in a porta potty, I'm like, why is there so much shit in here?
Yeah.
Concerts. I'm like,
Coachella?
everybody come to concerts and taking a
Imagine-
shit. It's a 3-hour concert. You have
remember
to take a shit in a 3-hour
One
period.
time
That's you.
we went to 7 Grand.
Take a shit before. That's what I mean to say. Take a shit before.
Remember one time we went out to 7 Grand. I think it's a bar on 7th and Grand in downtown LA.
Yeah.
And it's a bar bathroom, and like there's a line of guys just going into piss using the stall and the urinal, just switching off. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I
I'm
gotta
the
go.
guy. I'm the guy.
And the toilet is
Yes,
just
urine.
piss all over.
Yeah,
just,
urine.
and there's like no door. There's no door closed, and there's a line out the
Yeah.
door. I'm like, I just gotta go here. And
Just
then
gonna do it.
I just went.
You
And
sat on it?
No, of
Yeah,
course
you did.
not.
Yeah, you did. You had to go that fast.
No, but I've cleaned a bunch of toilets of other people's piss before. So I mean, that's. But I'm fine now, everyone. I'm totally good. I'm using a pharmaceutical drug, Stellara.
It's not good for our podcast that you're fine now.
I know.
I think you need to stop taking the drug.
Back in the
and
day,
let us know where you're taking
I
shits.
would have probably had to shit before the podcast and then
Shit middle.
shit after. No, or I would have just ended it and be like, "Oh, okay, guys, I gotta go."
We've hit 22 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it for this episode.
yeah. All right, so where was I? Advertising pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
TV.
definitely doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't even know how they make a profit off of it because, like you
I'll
said,
tell
it's
you.
monoclonal antibodies. Tell me, please. I would love to hear it.
So these pharmaceutical companies always advertise on like news channels, and they pay the news channels to advertise on there, and that's where they get most of their funding. That's why the narrative is to trust all these new drugs and stuff like that.
It's not the commercial itself. It's the
No.
fact that you're an advertiser, you're a sponsor.
Yeah. So they control the news of saying you need this new vaccine, you need the new Shingrix vaccine, you need RSV and stuff like that. So he wants to take those off. We're the only two countries, U.S. and New Zealand, have advertising on TV. I'm like, we don't even need that. That's why we go to our doc. Have you ever went to your doctor?
Yeah,
Like,
be
I
like,
saw
hey,
this
yeah,
on TV.
yeah.
Do I need this drug?
Well, Cialis. A lot
Well,
of people come with Cialis and Viagra. Those ones make more sense, right?
yeah. I mean, have a little fun. why don't ya?
Exactly.
Just those are the good ones.
Hims. I mean, those are advertising for the general population.
Yeah, start making cool drugs again,
Yeah.
like boner drugs, and like I might start taking testosterone. I'm getting my levels checked soon.
Oh man, they're so low.
Probably.
I've seen your thighs.
Yeah, I know. I deposit
They're
fat.
birthing thighs.
I deposit fat like a woman. Maybe I need to deposit fat like a man.
Dude, this is all a part of your whole change. This is a physical change you're
Yeah.
making.
So I'm gonna get my testosterone. I'll let you guys know what my testosterone is next episode.
The number?
Yeah, the number.
All right.
And then we'll see if I start taking it. And then I'm just gonna get fucking jacked.
No, you're not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I already lift so much. I just need like
With your legs?
I
You
do a lot
bench
of
with your
squat.
legs.
I go. My wife watches. And she's like, I can't believe how much you squat, and you go ass to grass. Like I squat deep. I'm like, I have the biggest range of motion, and I work out legs once a week, but I never do the hamstring curls because I'm afraid someone's gonna mount me when I'm on that machine. It's an irrational fear I have. I'm like, they're gonna think I'm a woman, and then something's gonna happen. So I never do those. My hamstrings are very weak. If I do a sprint right now, I'll pull both my hamstrings. So I need testosterone.
Oh, that's good.
So-
this is all about RFK.
Yeah, this is all. We're going on tangents here, but
No, we're not. This is about RFK.
it's RFK, fix my hamstrings.
Irrational fears.
Yeah.
Maybe put a fence around the
I
hamstring
mean-
curls.
I don't know. Do I really need hamstring curls? Who knows?
Risk benefit, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, someone's going to mail me right now. I already know it. Do you still go to the gym?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't because
Really? You don't?
no, I don't even have a membership.
What?
I know.
I have 2 memberships.
You which one do you use?
Well, we have this local gym that's amazing called Afterburn Fitness. Shout out. It's an amazing gym. But we switched that from 24 and I proactively paid for 24. So I'm still going to 24 when this gym's closed or something like that.
You go that late?
So on my work weeks, I go late because I go after work. But on my weeks off, I go late morning or something like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, back to RFK. So those are the 3 things he wants to do. And then he's going to be head of the FDA. I wonder what he has up his sleeves. I don't know if he's going to be able to get all this pushback from big companies because he's going to cut into profits and the pharmaceutical companies.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't mess with those guys.
Those are the 2 guys you don't mess with: farming and pharmaceuticals.
Exactly. So
They're the base
yeah.
of the Republican Party too.
And then we need a revamp of medical insurance companies because me and you both, we're paid by insurance. I mean, you're paid by your hospital, but insurance pays your hospital. But I'm 1099. I bill directly to insurance. And if they want to pay me or not for certain things, it's up to them. I don't have time to fight with them to try to get every payment for every patient.
What people don't know is, other than the cosmetic, medicine, is we all work for insurance companies, regardless of our subspecialty.
Yeah.
Other than cosmetic, again.
Yeah, cosmetic, derm, all that stuff, all the cash pay.
Cash pay is cash pay. I mean, that's capitalism.
Yeah.
And they do well. And they have good results.
But me and you work in hospitals.
We work for insurance companies.
Yeah. So if they don't want to pay, they don't pay. And then, so when I was a patient, I go to the IBD clinic at Cedars. The drug that they infused on me, the first infusion of Stelara, they charged the hospital, guess how much?
$20,000.
$70,000 for one infusion of Stelara. I'm like, how is that even possible?
$70,000?
Yes, for me to get infused with the initial loading dose of Stelara. And I'm like...
That's a human being's salary in this country. A citizen's salary for a year.
Exactly. I'm like, how do you bill this? And then my insurance company's like, oh, we'll pay $60,000 of that, and then you have to pay $10,000. I'm like, wait, these numbers are just made up here.
What are you talking about?
So I fought it, and I didn't have to pay anything because I'm like, I work at the hospital. I know how this works. I want an itemized bill, and then I'm like, I'm going to get a lawyer involved. And they're like, oh, we'll drop
that's
all the
right.
charges.
So that's the other thing that people don't know, and that goes for the general public, is you should fight your bills.
Yes.
At all times. Always fight your bills.
Yeah. Because
they're trying to get you first, because most people will just say, okay, this is how it is.
Exactly. Never pay a medical bill. Always fight it. Get an itemized bill.
That's right.
And there's certain companies.
Go back.
There's
haggle.
Yeah, haggle. Even if you want a
imagine?
payment plan, but I say pay nothing.
You will never go to collections if you're on a payment plan, even if it's low.
Yeah.
They won't put you on
interest.
Yeah, they won't put you on collections. Like that's a method for paying a medical bill, is go on some sort of payment plan, come up with a different number, haggle it, fight it, and maybe that's the best way.
Yeah. Threaten to get a lawyer. And there's companies right now that are like websites that say, hey, if you're fighting a medical bill, we'll fight it for you for a small fee,
right,
and we'll get it down and let us take care of all the grunt work. We have lawyers and everything like that, and they'll take care of it for you. And I've heard so many success stories.
Why is in my country that?
Yeah, I know.
Why is in my country that?
Yeah.
Why do I have to pay somebody else to fight these ridiculous?
Yeah, I know. I worked for the NHS when we did rotations. I went to England for a couple of my rotation. It was OBGYN rotation. I went to Blackburn, England, which is in the middle of nowhere in the north of England. And it was under the NHS.
I think the north of England is
What?
nothing.
You have something to say about the north of England? It's a beautiful place.
It is beautiful.
But it was in the middle of nowhere. It was Royal Blackburn Hospital. And I worked for the NHS, and it worked. I mean, everyone, but they have a smaller population. I think it's like 8 million or something. And it would be hard to do for the US, but if you're from England, let me know if I'm talking out of turn, but I thought that system worked. Nobody had to pay anything. Everyone got the care that they needed. There were like home visits. Everything was covered.
Well, somebody's paying for it.
The government, your taxes,
Right.
and the government.
So, but that's the thing. You first have to regulate the pharmaceutical companies. First, you have to regulate the insurance companies. First, you have to come in and, kind of revamp that before you just make it a government-funded system.
Yeah.
Because think about how expensive things are when it's government-funded.
Yeah.
Meaning your taxes are paying for it. And then you have, insurance companies, instead of fighting, people are fighting, and individuals are fighting government employees. And
Yeah. So RFK, get rid of or tame the insurance companies, because me paying, or my hospital charging me $70,000 for an infusion that they send the same injection to my house for free. It's the same drug, just a bigger dose, and I had to have it infused. $70,000.
right.
Which is insane. I get a used
I
G-Wagon
completely
for
agree
that.
with you, but the other side of that perspective is: are we de-incentivizing research? Are we de-incentivizing pharmaceutical companies
Research-
from building these drugs that maybe they wouldn't if they're not making any profit? Are they going to be funding research? Are they going to be funding these huge, and they're difficult to? It's
I
difficult to
agree.
bring a drug to market in this country.
I agree.
It's extremely expensive to bring a drug to market in this country. You can't do it.
I agree.
Yeah.
But research should be government funded, not passed on to the consumer. And when the
But
company
does
itself,
government-funded research, is it as strong as research done by private companies?
but
It's
if we
not.
take all this money out of the insurance companies and healthcare, and we could fund new research, then yes. But I understand it takes billions and billions of dollars to bring a drug to market, and my drug works. My Stelara, it works. So I'm completely symptom-free, and it works.
Would they have made Stelara if they didn't have the, incentive to?
Yeah, they should make a profit if they make a good drug. But
And how? Yeah, and these government-funded researchers, are they superior?
I don't know. But
They're not.
Isn't there compounding interest when the drug company, Pfizer itself, is paying for its own research? Can't they fudge the numbers saying that this drug works and everyone needs this
They
drug?
can. They do.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah,
Look at the COVID vaccine.
they can. They do. There's somewhere. We're getting somewhere here.
Yeah.
I think we're.
I think put us in charge.
Nobody asked us.
I know. But anyway, RFK, I'm behind you. Don't let us down. Let's see where this goes. Give him a chance. Give Trump a chance. He didn't mess up the first 4 years. Let's shake things up. Everyone's unhappy in this country.
I cannot believe how unhappy people were. I don't know if it's. I think it's more unhappy this past 4 years than it was Trump's 4 years.
Yeah,
I can't believe the switch in my own state.
I know.
I can't believe people are running to in California nowadays that are just like completely okay with MAGA hats anymore.
Oh,
Remember, you could never wear that 6 years ago.
No. You
Oh my
couldn't.
God.
And I was against Trump the first.
Can you
4
imagine
years.
wearing a MAGA hat during 2019, 2020?
No way.
Oh,
No way.
now I people wear them.
I was gonna buy you one for this podcast because I knew you voted for Kamala, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna buy you one next time. I was gonna get stuff for our Halloween episode, but we skipped it. We didn't do a Halloween episode because Joe was.
We were supposed to do a Halloween episode.
Joe was out campaigning.
We should have just done a Halloween episode post Halloween.
Yeah, I had some good Halloween stories.
Where
in
were
the
you for
hospital.
Halloween?
We were a Frozen. You know the
Yeah,
movie
the Frozen family. Okay.
Frozen family.
All right.
But anyway, let me just throw this anecdote out there for Halloween. When it's Halloween in the hospital and you're a resident or a med student, they're going to encourage you to wear a costume and do your rounds. Don't ever do that.
Don't do that.
One time,
did that?
no, not me.
You went in as Spider-Man?
My senior resident, who he's going to be on the podcast. I offered this. If he's listening right now, he's going to know who I'm talking about, but he's going to be on the podcast. He and his fiance at the time there were the couple of the residency.
Yeah.
So they dressed up as bacon and eggs. He was in a big bacon costume.
Great idea.
And she was a sunny side up egg.
Yeah.
And So it's a normal work day, and he's in this big bacon costume, and we're doing our rounds. I'm like the intern, and he's a big bacon. And we're rounding and going into patient rooms like this, and we had to deliver bad news. And this guy is dressed as a bacon, a piece of bacon.
Don't do that. Never do that.
This patient had cirrhosis, like MELD score 1 million. And
no.
We're like basically telling him he's going to die. He should go on hospice. And I'm looking around the room, and it's like, doctor, a piece of bacon. doctor. I'm like, because before I'm like, oh, I should have dressed up. Everyone's dressed up. I'm like, now, if your hospital or residency program encourages you to dress up,
remember
Halloween,
this story. You're ridiculous.
do not do it. You're gonna be embarrassed. And I just see him standing there, and we walk out of the room. And
He's like, I should have never walked in that room.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't need me in there.
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody say, don't let me in there? All those people in rounds, nobody said, hey, stay outside.
Yeah. So that was the Halloween story of our Halloween episode, but Joe was out campaigning for Kamala Harris.
I was not.
Yeah. So
how long have we been?
We've been 41 minutes.
Oh.
So we could end. Do you want to do a question?
I think we end at 41 minutes. I think these become a little bit smaller, and then we can break them up into 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Well, this has been Off Call. Should we do the outro?
Do the outro.
I think it's this one.
You put them in the
show where medicine gets real, raw, and funny. Dr. Mike, a hospitalist with a knack for internal medicine, and Dr. Joe, the intensivist who's always in critical condition of cracking jokes. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hit us up on Instagram at offcallpod. And for questions or comments, send an email to offcallpod@gmail.com. See you next time on Off Call. This is not a medical advice show. For medical advice, consult your own physician.
Thank you for listening.